the management of Kaveri Seeds with us today, Mithun Chand, the ED, talking about how it's really been an outperformer of the last decade and what their plans continue to be going forward. Mr. Chand, thanks so much for joining us. The journey for the company in the last decade has been fabulous, despite worries, whether it be on royalties or other disruptions. Shareholders have been patient and you've been rewarded. So going into 2020, do you feel there is now a lot more stability regarding the overall ecosystem? How do you see things shaping up?
Good morning, and I wish you all a happy new year. Last decade was good. We have performed very well in terms of the business and in terms of the returns to the shareholder. But going forward, if you see as an industry, we have very big scope in India. As an agriculture sector, we have a lot to grow. And if you see in the last 10 years, even though we had very big in India, we were very strong only in cotton and non-cotton crops as well. But in the last 10 years, we have diversified our portfolio, which we are saying from long back. We have ventured into many crops like rice, wheat, mustard, and in vegetables, and export market as well. Going forward, we see a very good year ahead in 2020, and not only 2020, in the next decade as well. As we see Indian agriculture, especially the seed market, is growing at a much rapid pace. It's at between 12 to 15% per annum. And as a company, we have, as I told earlier, we intensified our breeding programs. We have invested a lot in terms of the R&D facilities. We have set up new processing plants. We have set up new advanced breeding technologies, especially like biological biotechnology breeding. And we have set up all cold storages across different strategic locations. And as a market, we have ventured into export market and vegetable market, which are growing much faster than the normal feed crops industry. As such, we are well poised to in an industry which is in a growth mode.
The challenge for the Indian industry or the Indian agri-industry is that it's subsidized. And it is a structure where the states have to really cough up a lot of subsidy. Given where the financial condition of states is, do you think for any agrarian company which is dependent on state subsidy, it's going to be a challenge to get payments back, and that could have impact on cash flow and also working capital?
Yeah, to some extent you are right in terms of the Indian agriculture sector, but as a seed industry, where we deal with it, we don't have any subsidies for the seed. We don't deal any subsidy business at all. So in terms of the subsidy business or dependence on the government, we are not much dependent on it. And if you see seed as a total investment to the farmer, is less than 5% of the total input cost. So it's actually a pull product rather than the push product.
Okay. You've been a cotton seed company. That's what you also indicated, that you plan to move away from it. But when you are migrating away from being just a one product specific company, what would be the R&D expenditure involved in it? And will your realizations be equally strong as what you've enjoyed in the cotton seed business?
As I said earlier, we are not only strong in cotton, we are strong in many crops. Going forward, as I said, the dependency on cotton is already coming down. If you see in the peak year, the dependency was close to 75% of the total revenue. But last year it was only 52%. Going forward, our guidance is like 40% from cotton and 60% from non-cotton. And in terms of the profitability, non-cotton crop are much profitable than the cotton crop. So we are moving in a zone where the profitability should be higher, and going forward, our margins and our EBITDA level should also go up from the present levels.
Okay, fair enough. Mr. Chand, now, what are you doing to expand the product portfolio, expand your geographical presence as well? Over a 3-year time frame, do you expect non-cotton, revenues, for example, to contribute a further share to the current mix? What's the strategy going ahead?
So if you see our portfolio and if you see our presence, we were pretty strong in southern India. But if you see in the last 5 to 7 years, we have grown to central and northern India. and even to some parts of the eastern states. We have added new crops, I mean to say especially the new segments. For example, now we are adding spring corn in maize, and we are adding Northern India cotton market, which is also 15% of the total size. So we are adding all different segments to our portfolio, which is actually helping us to reach that 40-60, 40 of cotton and 60 of non-cotton. So we are in that line, and we have started investing in the other crops in the last 6-7 years. So that is already yielding us now. And even in vegetables, we are growing much faster than the industry. Even though at the smaller base, we see a very good potential for vegetables. And even for the export market, we have ventured into other countries. It's slowly expanding. So in the next 3 to 4 years, we are pretty confident that we'll grow in most of the segments, and it will definitely add to our top and bottom lines.
What about worries regarding licenses, etc.? Are they behind you? Because we understand that there was an issue in Andhra Pradesh. So what safeguards are you taking in order to not repeat that kind of a situation again?
Yeah, if you talk about license, we see, as you said, seed is a state business, and every state has got different licensing. So we operate in more than 22 states, and we have more than 22 licenses across India. And there are some instances where we see some sort of a complaints from the farmers, but we abide to the Seed Act, and we produce the seed as per the Act. So if there are some complaints, the authorities will see it and renew it. For example, in a case, our sale was not impacted, and in fact, if you see, the license got reinstated in a span of 2 weeks. So those are normal issues in the industry, and that I don't think it will have any serious impact on the sales. Yes, here and there will stay instances, but that should not impact our businesses.
All right, fair enough. Tell us also about the traction currently, including what's lined up in terms of hybrids in the near term. Are you increasing R&D investment in vegetable seeds? How's that playing out? In terms of the more recent things that you've implemented, where are you actually seeing traction?
So if you see, R&D activity is a continuous activity, but the focus crop as of now it become vegetables and maize crop. In fact, rice. If you see, our market shares in maize and rice and significantly gone up in the last 2 to 3 years, including vegetables as well. So this is a continuous activity, and we are still investing into it, and we are adding each crop. Right? Even now in vegetables, we are focusing mainly on 3 crops now: okra, tomato, and hot pepper. And going forward, we are willing to add few more crops into it. So in that way, we are slowly increasing our focus crops and slowly adding to our portfolio, which will give us a revenue in the long run basis.
Mithun, great to have you on the show, and once again wishing you and your entire team at Kaveri Seeds a very happy new year from all of us.
Thank you.